Shalom, shalom, falling ashore. Welcome again to the rock. SHTF shit hits the fan. And then I've been asked, what is the thing that I'm looking for, when it comes to SHTF? I'll tell you the one thing I'm not looking for. And I did a video and posted that question. And then there were people who said, shit hits the fan for them would be, not pleasing Yah or, not pleasing his spirit or things like that. And for myself, that is not a shit hits the fan situation for me. Let me tell you why. See, I'm planning, the things that we do and preparedness are for situations that may be a shit hits the fan situation. So literally we're preparing for a shit hits the fan situation. And it could be a personal thing in your life and it could be a broad thing. It could be a world war, or it could be something as simple as you lose your job. But you prepare for it. You make provisions in case that thing happens. You can't, if you displease the Father, you can't plan for that. You can't plan to go to hell. You can't plan to not make it to the kingdom. I don't plan to not to fail or not keep the commandments, or you know what I mean. So while I get and understand the premise of what you're trying to say, I don't like the idea of saying I'm preparing, because that's what we do. When you talk about shit hits the fan, you get yourself ready for it. Yourself, Joseph, planned for shit hits the fan situation. The 7 years of famine. He didn't plan to fail Yah. So I understand where your premise is coming from, but sometimes, trying to spiritualize something that is very, very physical could lead to us saying things that don't really line up with the question, that's asked at hand. I prepare for a crap defense situation, shit defense situation. So for me, it could be, in my life, it's been things like, the city you're in falls apart and they start rioting. But more realistically, what I see is a colliding, like, perfect storm. I don't know if y'all saw the movie The Perfect Storm with George Clooney. I see the perfect storm. That snowball I've mentioned many times going downhill, I see that. I see as it goes downhill, it accumulates more speed and accumulates more problems, and it gets bigger. It may have started off with just a zombie plague, but it's going to end up, who knows? But it could end up with world war and famine and food shortages, economic crisis, energy crisis. Whether it be calories or gas or whatever it may be, it could be a large scale thing. And that's what I kind of see. I see the converging of a perfect storm: economic, war, inflation, the continual removal of rights, till a boiling point. Now it could be. What happens after that? I don't know. But you can already tell it's going to a boiling point. It's getting to a point where people are just fed up and they're doing whatever. You look in the news and the levels of violence that are being perpetuated against people, especially you sisters, you women. It's outstanding. Not outstanding like great. I'm talking like it's grand. It's escalating in levels that it's escalating in levels that are only seen in times like this, where you see economic situations, where you see, people are on edge. People are on edge. And it's not even just they're on edge. They're on edge and they don't have answers. They didn't take precautions. They didn't take preparations for these things. In some cases, a lot of people try to over-spiritualize these things. A lot of people are, this is the end days. If you read the book of Revelation, if you read prophecy, you'll see a lot of things have to happen before, what people are saying. The mark of the beast is right around the corner. Read prophecy. If you read prophecy, there's a lot of things that have to take place before we get to that system. Now, this could be the start of a system, but, sometimes we believe that we're so special that things are going to happen in our time frame. Meaning in a time frame that we believe is going to happen. This thing could take another decade. It could take another 2 decades, another 5 decades before we reach that point. It could take time for us to go down that hill of degradation. Sure, it looks like it happens fast, but we don't understand. Just like I talked about in the live stream, for those of you that were paying attention, that paid attention and were there on last 6th day or last 7th day, where I said that we were reading the book of Joshua, and we read that it took 16 months. It took 16 months. The Egyptians had a 16-month plan that they worked, that they did, that had the children of Israel in slavery for 400 years. There are plans that the powers that be that are orchestrating. And we think it's going to happen in 2 weeks. We think it's going to happen in a year. We think it's going to happen in 2 years or 3 years. Because that's really all we've really prepared ourselves for. We didn't prepare ourselves for a long, drawn-out process, which is this is what is coming. It's literally wearing out the patience of people, and it's wearing out the patience of the saints. Literally, people's patience is being worn thin. It's a slow destruction, and not this fast. Comet comes into the sky, and here comes wormwood, or Yellowstone erupts and just changes the world. That's what a lot of people have planned for. That's what their SHTF situation was. And overnight, you go to bed, you wake up, and the zombies are at your, running down the street or walking down the street. It depends what kind of zombie movie you like. They're either running or walking down the street, and people are being eaten. That's what we're used to. You go to sleep, you wake up, the world's gone to shit. But what's happened is we're going to sleep and we're waking up, and we're going to sleep and we're waking up, and we're going to sleep and we're waking up, and we're not seeing zombies on the street. We're not seeing this complete breakdown overnight. We're seeing a slow, drawn-out thing that is literally consuming the resources that people have. It's consuming your bank account. It's consuming your gardens. It's consuming your mortgage. All the extra money you have. It's literally consuming. It's not a fall down, bam. The government's gone, the systems are gone, so you're just living in your house mortgage free. It's not that. People still have to pay their bills, and it's the shit has already hit the fan, and they still have to pay their bills. People are still being foreclosed on, and the shit has already hit the fan. People are still having car payments, and the shit has already hit the fan. Food prices, inflation is rising, and the shit has already hit the fan. But it's not fitting into the paradigm that you create inside your head that it has to look like. So you looked at it and said, well, people are going to be on the streets, armed rebellion, fighting in the streets. It's going to look like Iraq. It's going to look like the Middle East. It's going to look like Africa. And what it's looking like, for those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, is it looks like a SHTF situation. It's just taking a lot more time, and it's wearing people out. Because as it wears people out, people become crazed. The manifestations, the demons that are inside of them, they're really manifesting, and people are doing crazy shit because it's slow. It's slow. That's what I see happening. I see exactly what is happening right now, and all I'm taking this opportunity is I'm taking an opportunity to continue to prepare my house, continue to prepare my family, to continue to talk and communicate with like-minded people, to continue to help those that say, hey, I'm trying to come out, hey, I'm trying to do this, hey, I'm trying to do that, to continue to help you sisters open up your eyes and see, hey, this is, I know it kind of looks like it's always looked, but it's not that. It's worse. It's way worse. And you can't hyper-spiritualize your way through this. It's a real physical thing. Spirits are affecting people to the point where they are doing real physical things. Their manifestations are physical. So again, I understand that for those that were saying, displeasing Yah would be my SHTF situation. But I don't think displeasing Yah is a SHTF situation. It's just utter complete death. Shit hitting the fan, you plan for. We plan for. It could be somebody breaking in your house. It could be You running out of gas on the side of a road, so you have a gas can for that. Somebody breaks in your house, you have your family plan for that. If inflation goes too high, well, great, you got your food storage and you have your gardens. But if you displease Yah, you displease the Father, and on that day of judgment, your name is not written in the Lamb's Book of Life, because you displeased him. That's not a SHTF situation. Not at all. So that's what so I've been asked. That's what I see. I just think whatever, however fast it happens, it's just a wearing down of people. It's just a complete wearing down of people. It's a destruction of their patience. It's a destruction. It's a testing of their resiliency. It's a testing of their longevity. It's a testing of their game plan. It's a testing of everything. And that's what most people are not ready for. They're not ready to be tested. They're not ready to go through a drawn out process. They want something to happen tomorrow so that they don't have to pay their mortgage, so they don't have to pay their rent, so they don't have to, their bills just magically disappear. And they're hoping for a complete, utter Mad Max situation. Because for some people, that is the only way that they'll ever get ahead. Is if it's a complete Mad Max breakdown of law and order and shit hits the fan situation. That's the only idea. That's the only hope that they really have. Because this, what we're seeing right now, is not what most people plan for. Most people didn't plan to go to the grocery store and see food disappear off the shelves little by little and the prices go higher and higher. Most people weren't planning on paying, $2,500, $300, $3,000, $5,000 in New York for rent. Most people weren't planning on paying, damn near a fifth of your paycheck for energy, or in some people's cases, a fourth or a third of their paycheck on energy, gas and electric, and most people didn't ever plan that they would have to go to a food bank to feed their family, to feed themselves. It's happening so slow. And this is what's going to cause the most problems, the slow shit hitting the fan. Bless y'all. Thank y'all for your comments. And again, this is, I'm not, saying anything against anybody or anything like that in the comment section. I'm just saying, when I read those things, I was like, oh, that wouldn't be a shit hits the fan situation for me. That would be an utter let down, death, and destruction. There is no shit hitting the fan. The fan's blown up. The shit's not, they ain't even shit anymore. It's all destruction. It's hell and hellfire. That's what it is. Complete, utter destruction. All right, bless y'all. Hope you're having a blessed second day. I hope you had a blessed second day. Shalom.